What's up, guys? Alright, first of all, I have to say thank you to Stun279. I literally just read a comment 10 seconds ago on my new EDC update video, and his comment was something like, I'm still waiting for the easy aerial tutorial. And honestly, I swear to God, I just forgot about it. I literally forgot about that. I told you guys I'd do a video on it, and I forgot. So I just read the comment, and I'm making a video right now, 10 seconds later. Grabbed the Balisong. I didn't even grab my 51. I figured I'd give it a rest. I have a old school Jaguar. Just because you guys can relate. Although the Jaguar is one of my favorite cheapos, it's still a cheapo. Just to show you this works fine. You don't need an expensive Balisong to do all these different moves. But anyway, yes, I'm going to show you how to do probably the easiest, I shouldn't say the easiest aerial. The easiest aerial I already did a video on, which I already showed you, which is basically just a single rotation aerial. That's the easiest aerial, and you can literally do that all day long. However, this aerial is still very easy in my opinion, and by giving you a couple little tips on it, you should land it. I think I said like you'll land it every single time. There's slight factors. If you do exactly what you're supposed to, you'll land it every time, but then again, that goes for every single move there is. But we don't do that every single time. Sometimes there's variables of us twisting our fingers slightly that throws it off. Perhaps you're sweating. There's a lot of different things that can go on that can screw up. But more times than not, you will be able to land this move successfully without cutting yourself. So first of all, here's how the move looks. Well, let me do a straight on, then I'll do a side. Okay? And by the side, just like that. Okay, what am I doing? What I'm doing for this aerial is holding a knife just like this, okay? And what this is basically, when I first started doing this, it was a 2-finger pinch grip, okay? And how I learned this was a 2-finger pinch grip, where your bite handle or latch handle, I mean, let's just say bite handle, because you might have a Manila style Balisong where it's flip-flop. But anyway, okay, our latch, which is our bite handle, is facing away from us. And how I learned this was with 2 fingers, just like this. You're pinching the bottom, pinching right above where the tang flares out there, okay? Now, as I've done this move over and over again, and when I started learning about it, I realized that it gives you a lot more stability to put 2 fingers there, okay? So this is how we're starting the move. 2 fingers right above on the same, your bite handle, okay, where your latch is. 2 fingers right there above, I'll call them the ears that are sticking out, or horns. I guess they are known as the horns on the knife. And your thumb on the other side. Now keep these pressed up against these, the tang here. Alright, not up here, not on top of it, but snug up against it. Now, how you can remember this, I'm showing you upright like this, but basically your latch is always on the bottom, your latch handle, okay? Now because of the weight, your latch handle is going to be slightly heavier. It's really, really minute. But it doesn't really matter if your latch handle happens to be your bite handle or not. For this move to work properly, your latch handle has to be on the bottom because that's slightly heavier, okay? And all you're going to be doing is literally flicking this up in the air. This is the movement you're doing. Now, all these little tiny tips will help you to succeed more often. Now I can just tell you, hold it like this and flip it in the air, and you could probably get it, right? But a couple of tips I'm going to give you should help more. The first tip is you start off completely flat like this, completely horizontal. When you do your little flip, you want to let go when it's completely vertical. Okay, so you have very simple lines here. You're starting like this, you're flipping up, and you're letting go right there. Not before, not after. If you do it before, you're not going to get enough rotation. If you do it after that 90-degree point, it's going to be too much rotation, and you're not going to catch it right. You'll probably catch the blade. Okay? So before you even try this the first time and let go of your knife, because if you have a sharper knife, it's a little intimidating to do aerials. Okay? Sometimes you throw up in the air and you freak out while it's up in the air, and you just go, and you just kind of let it fall on the ground and it breaks your knife, or it goes flying across the room, or puts a hole in your floor, or whatever. Don't let go of it. Just do this. Put your fingers just like this, snug up against the tang, protruding out, and just start flat and lift up. Start flat, lift up. Okay? Now when I do this, it's not just a flick of the wrist. I put a little arm into it. I'm not swinging my arm really hard, okay, and I'm not keeping my elbow completely stiff and just using my wrist. It's a little bit of both. Okay, so a little bit of arm movement. You can see how much I'm moving here. It's not much. Completely flat, straight up, flat, straight up. And that's where you want to let go. Okay, so slow motion, boom, let go. Now what's going to happen is this is going to come up in the air, and because you're pinching, by the way, you want to squeeze the handles together, not really, really tightly, but hold them together tight. Don't let it kind of play. All right. What's going to happen is the knife's going to come up, and it's going to kind of push together before it separates. And then once it separates, it kind of almost stays stagnant in the air. And then it separates, your handle's open, okay, and obviously as it's coming down, the idea is to catch it. Now if you do this properly, and let me give you this heads-on view. If you do this like this, this is going to come up perfectly straight, and you'll notice in the air, it's not going to twist because your hand never twisted. Okay, now come back down. Now this could be sliding this way or back or whatever, but you're going to catch it straight. Now as you're doing this move, see this straight on view here? If you twist it this way or that way or this way or that way, what's going to happen is you can still be successful in catching this aerial, but it's going to do this funky like all over the place before the handles come back together. Okay, it doesn't matter how it's really flipping in the air. It's just if you keep your hand completely dead straight and you do not twist it in any direction, then it's easier because the whole thing will be straight the entire time. It's never going to twist or turn. Although you can still land this move. If I do this, 4 or 5 times in a row, 1 or 2 of those times it will be a little bit funky, but I'll still be able to catch it just fine. Alright, so that's pretty much it, guys. It's really simple. Let me give you another heads-on shot here. I'll try to do some slow-mo for you. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a slow motion from the side view here. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully the tips were helpful. One quick little note, let me do the aerial again here. I want to mention that when I end with a move, I always have the goal to end with my blade facing out. Okay, I'm righty, this is my strong hand. When I'm done with any kind of Balisong move, or even with a folding knife, any kind of knife manipulation, I want that blade facing out. I could be in a regular grip like this, or I can be even in a reverse grip, but I want that blade out. Why? Because the second I get a sturdy grip on that, I want to be able to not have any wasted motion by turning the knife around. Alright, from that move, wherever I end up with, I want to be able to come in and make a slash, or if I'm holding in a regular grip, I can come down and make a slash, whatever the case may be. What I don't want is I don't want any move ending like this, where the blade is behind me. Okay, because again, I have to spend the time to turn it around, or it's just a really awkward position. I'm not going to make any kind of a slash or thrust like that. Of course, with a thrust, it doesn't make a difference what direction it's pointing, but particularly with slashing, I want that blade facing out. Okay, a little note unrelated to this specific tutorial, but Balisongs as a defense blade, not good. Okay, I've preached this before. If you're carrying a knife for defense because you truly feel that you want something to defend yourself, maybe it's in addition to a gun, maybe you're not allowed a firearm wherever you live, whatever the case may be, if you're carrying an edged tool or weapon, in this case, to defend your life or the life of your loved ones, fixed blade is the way to go. There's no other way around it. Folding knives of any kind, not just a Balisong, any kind of folding knives have their inherent problems. You may fumble trying to get it out, the locks may fail, and so forth. A fixed blade is your best defense for defense, just my opinion. But if I had to use my Balisong, I would not be flashy with it. A lot of people watch these Balisong tutorials and they think, oh, you think you're so tough because you're going to pull a knife out in a knife fight. That's malarkey. I don't even know where that word comes from, but yes, that is certainly malarkey, Hollywood bullcrap. If I'm going to pull a knife to defend my life, I'm hoping that person has no idea I have it until they either feel it inside their body or feel the immense pain of blood flowing out of their body. Okay, that's when I want them to go, uh-oh, this guy has a knife, and yes, there's my intestines. Okay, that's the whole point of defending yourself. You don't want to come out with a knife for intimidation. All right, if you're in some kind of bad situation, this should be for a separate video, but I'm just talking. If there's a bad situation and someone has a weapon, you don't necessarily want to go, ooh, I got a weapon too. That forms a completely different conflict. Okay, what you want to do, in my opinion, I'm not a professional, just my opinion from Joe Schmo, you want to be defenseless. No, please, you know, please, you do everything in your power to get away from the situation, okay? If that person is still being aggressive or coming at you or something like that, if you feel like you don't have enough time, then of course, yeah, you can present your knife. But you don't, first of all, you'd never want to be flashy with it. Flipping a Balisong all around is not going to help anyone. If you're going to take that out, you better be prepared to use it, okay? To actually hurt someone very severely with that. Don't ever call someone's bluff. Because if you take a Balisong out and you start flipping it around and stuff, and you present that blade to someone, if they have a gun, you're screwed. Unless, of course, you know, there's a space issue, which is, again, for a completely separate conversation. There's been an ongoing debate, you know, if you have a gun, should you draw a gun against someone with a knife, or, you know, a close proximity weapon, because the time it takes you to draw, they can advance, you know, 12 feet in 2 seconds, blah, 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 blah. If I have a gun and someone has a knife, more than likely I'm going to probably go for my gun, but I always have a knife on me as well. So if, as I'm going for my gun, there's not enough time, perhaps I'll go for my knife as well, or grapple, do whatever I have to do. You know what, that's all situational stuff, and I wouldn't really know how I'd react until it actually happens. Hopefully it doesn't. But anyway, the point I'm making with all this stuff is that when I end any kind of Balisong move, I want that blade out. So the second I have a grip on it, I can come in and slash if I need to, or if in some cases I can, you know, stab if I need to. I don't like ending any kind of move like this, or necessarily ending a move with the knife closed. Most of my manipulations, or even combinations, they usually end with the knife open and the blade facing out, so I'm ready for action, whether it's cutting open a box or cutting a person who's trying to harm me. So anyway, hopefully these tips were helpful to you. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.